Carl, what's your favorite product that NatureCity makes?
Oh, that's like saying who's your favorite child. My goodness.
You could probably pick that too.
Yeah. Well,
everybody knows who the favorite
why is
child
this going to be distributed? No. I'm going to give you 3. I can't give you 1.
All right, give me 3 favorite NatureCity products.
My 3 favorites currently. So, good health is really, really hard if you can't sleep well. Mm-hmm. Right?
Agreed.
And not only does it impair your health over time, it makes your days pretty miserable because you're tired.
Yep.
You know, it's hard to stay active. You get frustrated. You get stressed. You get annoyed with people when you shouldn't. So we, for the longest time, wanted to have a sleep supplement. Okay. But every time we tried it, I said, this doesn't seem to be doing anything for me. Right. So for years, people were like, why don't you have a sleep product? Why don't you have a sleep product? It's like, you know what? Because there's nothing that we feel good about putting our name onto. Okay. So finally, we came up with a formulation a couple years ago that both Beth and I were thrilled about because after our personal use. And let me tell you a little bit how it works and what it does. The product is called True Z's. Okay. And what's interesting about the product is it's going to help you fall asleep quicker. So less time lying in bed awake. It's going to help you stay asleep longer, or when you awake, it's going to help you get back to sleep. I mean, it's not like, sometimes I think people expect they're going to take like a sleep aid and it's going to knock them out the whole night like they're under anesthesia or something like that. Right. Okay, it's not going to happen, okay? So when you do wake up at night or something wakes you up at night, help you fall asleep faster, sleep better, and be able to wake up better because you had more deep sleep, what they call restorative sleep. You're going to wake up feeling much more refreshed, energized, and ready to take on the day, okay? The worst feeling is this, I don't really use an alarm clock, but you hear that alarm go off, and you're just like wobbling, you just feel like, God, I don't want to get up, No, I want you to wake up feeling refreshed, ready to go. After a minute, just feeling like you're ready to tackle the day. Yep. That really is the goal of the product, and that's, I think, what we have achieved. It really starts with an ingredient, Mark, I think you're familiar with. It's called L-theanine. Mm-hmm. It's an amino acid that's found in green tea and mushrooms. If you think about green tea, it's caffeinated product. Theanine really helps take the edge off that caffeine. So green tea still has the calming properties many people associated with it, as well as can make you feel more alert through the green tea. Really, it's the L-theanine that helps create that effect. So what it does, technically, when you take it about 30 to 60 minutes at night, in the evening, it helps promote what are called alpha waves in your brain. These are calming, relaxing waves, so it helps your mind start to relax. Yep. One of the biggest challenges with falling asleep is your head's racing. There's so much going on.
Blue light.
You check your email, the blue light, you're watching TV, the show's in your head. It's just hard to really calm your mind down. Really, that's really the role of L-theanine. And you can pretty much start to feel that in effect within a couple of days. Okay? So that's where it all starts. The next thing, as you know, melatonin is really important. Melatonin's a hormone that your body starts producing in the evening. When it starts to get dark outside, your body senses it's almost bedtime. There's something called the pineal gland in your brain starts producing this hormone called melatonin, and it helps you get sleepy and you fall asleep. It doesn't stop producing, your body doesn't stop producing melatonin until probably about 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. in the night. That's great. The reason it stops is because by the time you wake up, you want all that melatonin essentially to be gone. Okay, so if you test melatonin levels in the daytime, they should be barely detectable. Okay. So melatonin helps you get to sleep and stay asleep. Here's the issue. Many people take synthetic melatonin supplements. Your body only produces about 300 micrograms of melatonin at night. Okay, so even if your body's not optimal, maybe it's producing 100 micrograms or 200 micrograms. Okay, supplements. The average supplement user is taking 5 milligrams of melatonin. So that's like, was that 1,000 times more? I can't do
more
math
than your
maybe.
body can metabolize in even one night.
Yeah, that's actually 50 times more, not 1,000 times more. So you're getting all this extra melatonin, and I recognize not all of it is digested, and not all, it's not like your brain producing it. But still, you have a lot of excessive melatonin in your body, which your body can't clear by daybreak. Okay, so that's why a lot of people take melatonin supplements. They feel groggy during the day. They're drowsy, and they turn to caffeine to really help energize them and to help so they can stay awake. And that, in effect, is going to hurt their ability to sleep that night, right? So you get this vicious cycle of caffeine, melatonin.
We'll call it caffeitonin.
You can call it caffeitonin. I think I've heard that before, Mark. No, but seriously, so we didn't want to put melatonin in a supplement, okay? It's never agreed to me. Every time I've tried melatonin in different forms, I just wake up feeling terrible. And I just said, this is not for us. So what we did instead is we included an ingredient that actually helps your body produce melatonin. Okay, one of the ways your body produces melatonin, it takes an amino acid called tryptophan, famously in turkey and and so on and so forth, and it converts tryptophan to melatonin. Okay, but it does this in a measured way. It decides how much melatonin you need. Do we have enough? Do we need more? It controls and regulates the process.
Because the body has an innate intelligence to do what the body knows it needs.
Right. It's not gonna, instead of force feeding all this extra melatonin, it's gonna let's let the body fare it. So what the ingredient I'm talking about is called saffron, the spice, and saffron essentially has the ability to help your body produce enzymes that convert the tryptophan to the melatonin.
Right.
That's how it works, okay? So when you need more, it helps your body produce it, okay? So what we've seen, now the way this all came about, saffron's being used a lot for mood and emotional health. That's one of the things it's used as a supplement for. But they noticed that some people having sleep difficulties were sleeping a lot better, getting a lot more restful sleep. So that really led to this whole, whole thing looking into saffron and sleep. And they found this melatonin link, or how it supports melatonin production. So instead of putting synthetic melatonin, we have this ingredient that supports your natural production of melatonin.
Right.
And I think that's a much better way to go. And since then, they've done specific clinical studies just looking at sleep. Over 30 days, they can see that people's sleep quality and different measures of restful sleep have gone up significantly compared to placebo.
Well, one of the things the thing I love most about that, Carl, and thank you for the explanation about TruZ's and what goes on there. And I think it's obvious to a listener that you're not just throwing an ingredient in something because of what the ingredient does. It's rather a well thought out, well strategized plan that you're not rushing products onto your store. You're taking your time to figure out that by the time something does get there, it's perfected. In a very thoughtful, calculated way. I mean, you're talking about, how does L-theanine work and how do I get tryptophan, and how does saffron convert tryptophan into melatonin? Like that's not the way I think a lot of, vitamin C, like it's not the way a lot of products are formulated. Yeah. And I think that's important.
Well, what's important to me, and, look, I've been doing this for over 20 years, right? So I don't claim to be scientist or a practitioner or anything like that, but you learn a lot over 20 years. But I was always interested in not, what does it do, but why and how. Mm-hmm. Okay, because that really helps. That's really important to me in the formulation. I don't want to put 3 things in a formula that do the same thing. That makes no sense to me, right? But I want to try to attack a problem from different angles and different causes of that problem, try to give someone the best result possible.
And I always use this word innate intelligence, that your body knows how to do what it's doing. And if it's not doing that, it's because it's lacking some kind of input. And it's not that it needs you to artificially slam it over the head.
Yep.
It's the, I didn't sleep well, so I'm going to put too much caffeine in my body kind of solution. And it's like, no, let's get your body what it needs, because your body knows how to produce energy and your body knows how to be awake all day. Something else is happening. It's an input-output type situation. So even as you're formulating, I think that's amazing. We're running over here, but I want to say, Carl, like, I love what you're doing. I love the relational aspect of what you're doing, because the supplement space to me it's such a scammy market. And it just, unfortunately, just being honest with you, I know that's your industry, but it's like, to a lot of people, it just feels gross.
Yeah, no, you're not insulting me. I agree wholeheartedly, and it's what's remarkable to me is, despite all the bad actors out there and bad products out there, this industry just continues to grow and grow and grow, which I think is more a reflection of the need versus the quality of some of the players in the industry.
Well, I think it's a lot of things. I think, one, wearables have been causing people to become more cognizant of what's not going well. Yeah. So they're trying to change those numbers. I think there's this zeitgeist of Maha and, people paying attention to health. I think there is a distrust from the healthcare industry that happened post-COVID. I think there is an awareness that's taking place that food is not what it used to be. Like, I think there's like 100 factors that are all working together. Fortunately, I will say harmoniously. The problem is where there's money, there's bad actors.
Well, no, that's exactly it. I mean, all the opportunists come out and they see the same things you see, and all you have to do is be selective and figure out how to find good supplements, and that's really what I've been trying to do with some of the tips I give on our podcast and our website. Is I just don't want you to get burned, and make a bad decision, and it's just, and it's, believe me, it's not that easy. There's, like I said, a lot of great brands out there, but there's, unfortunately, probably 10 times more bad brands.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important, and I'm a big fan of trust factors, right? Like, if this is a person who makes a recommendation, and I will say to anybody listening, I take NatureCity supplements, which is why I'm comfortable having you on here, because I'd obviously not endorse something that I didn't believe in.
Well, we thank you for that.
Yeah, and I mean, I probably take 5 or 6 of your products on a daily basis. I've been taking your resveratrol the longest.
Yeah.
But I take your vitamin C, I take your D3K2, I take your berberine. Like, there's several things that I take out of the family, because I'm like, anything that I can buy from NatureCity that I need, that's my go-to, and then I'll source other places where I've got this brand I trust and this one I trust and so on, because there's a lot of people out there that are good. But I think it's important to find a relationship with someone. And what I love about NatureCity is, first of all, I happen to have a personal relationship with you. I can call you if I really have a problem, but as a brand, it's a trustworthy brand that I don't have to do that.
Yeah, well, no, and that's a key point. I mean, that's one of the things I tell people to look for. Is the brand accessible?
Correct.
Are the people accept? Are they out here? I mean, this is not.
If I can only email in a question, I don't want to do business with you. That's my rule of thumb.
Right. Can I speak to somebody? And you can speak to
Absolutely.
someone, from 365 days, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I think I was a little redundant, but 365 days, 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
But look, that's really important to us too. Look, you may not immediately get the answer, but that person's going to find the answer. And that often means coming to me or coming to Beth, and I'll find the answer.
And again, it's what I find amazing is the fact that, like, you guys are owners, operators, and accessible to your audience. That it's not, you're not hiding behind an office. You're not in a VC firm somewhere in New York. You're here in Florida making good products. 23 years later, still doing it. And I think there's something to be said that companies without integrity don't stay in business very long. So the length of time that you've been in business before AI, before the zeitgeist, before even the internet was that big of a shopping experience, like, you guys have been here doing what you're doing, and respect for that. I recommend anybody, to be honest with you, as I said, I wouldn't lie on here, and anybody who's interested in looking at a supplement, NatureCity, they hit all of my must-haves. There's quality in ingredients. There's research-backed everything there. Most of all, there's a trust factor through the relationship with the people that are actually making the products. Again, wouldn't endorse something that I don't personally take. And as I said, I take about 6 of them on a daily basis.
I did not realize there were that many, but
it was that many. Haven't died yet, right? But no, the products are fantastic, and I compare them to others because I want to make sure that I'm taking what's the best. NatureCity.com is the website. Show notes down there will actually have everything related to that. We'll put a code in there that people can save a few bucks if they want to try NatureCity. But I'll tell you what, one of the things that impresses me about NatureCity, Carl, is some people's supplements are just so expensive to buy them. And I'm like, it's got to be like laced in silver or something. And NatureCity's products, the quality that you bring is amazing, but like the prices to me almost seem absurd because it's so affordable.
Yeah, look, and that's that was the key word. You know, I mean, it was. Again, I view every person, whether I know you or not, as a family member. And look, I want to try to make our products as affordable as I can. You know, and we've had that question that. I don't know if it's a question, but that point raised before. And look, we're here. You know, one of the best. I'd rather have you buy our product for the next 5 years than make a lot of money in 2 months off of you. And that's really what we're trying
perfectly
to do.
said. I mean, and again, that's because relationships happen over time. They don't happen over one order.
Right.
And I think it's important. So definitely check out NatureCity, naturecity.com. Everything will be down below in the show notes. Carl, thank you so much for taking the time to come down here today and talk. I love when I'm able to actually do podcasts in person because relationship, right?
Hey, nothing like face-to-face, and that's why the great thing about these podcasts is we are sort of now face-to-face with the world versus the old days, right? So,
transparency.
Exactly. So, hey, thank you for having me.
I appreciate you being here, buddy. We'll see you next time on Performance Driven Living.